Hello my friends, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Hunting Rocks. In this episode, I'm not actually going on an adventure. I'm going to show you how I made the Saruca. I'm also going to show you guys how to make a little sifter. I'll show you some of the sifters I have. It's getting warm enough. I'm probably going to go out and shoot a real video coming up this week. But since I am going to Florida in probably about 3 weeks from now, I figured I'd make myself another sifter, something a little smaller. But I did promise you guys a Saruca, so let's get on that and I'll show you how I make it. Also, pardon the mess that is my garage. Spring cleaning has not arrived yet. I got tons of buckets and stuff I got to go through. But originally, the first one I made actually cost me nothing. This is some found window screen. This is aluminum. Most people recommend stainless, which is fine if you have one that you're going to actually pay something for. The nice thing about this was it was completely free, found alongside the road. Reduce, reuse, recycle, all that good jazz. The only thing I did pay for this time was a lid. I think I paid like $4 or $5 for this. It's a screw-on, screw-off lid. Pretty decent lid. This part here will probably not be needed. And then, of course, a 5-gallon bucket. Let's start off with the first part, which is the lid and the bucket. All right, so get yourself a pair of scissors. Make sure they're not the good ones. Don't use kitchen shears, otherwise someone may kill you. But what we're going to do is we're going to get in here and we're going to pop this gasket out. I'm trying to get this on camera and do it at the same time. Give me 1 second here. Took the lid off. We don't need the lid. That will probably get used for another project at some point. But we're going to get in here and we're going to remove this gasket as best we can. Don't worry if you bend it up a little bit. It'll be all right. I'm actually just going to snip this gasket and pull it out. And this gasket will not be needed. The reason why we're pulling this out is so we get a better fit onto the bucket. We want it to go in deep. We will have another gasket of sorts, which will be our screen. And you see that just pops right out. Set that down. This, I don't need it. It's going to get thrown away. So the lid is all but ready to go. Set it to the side for right now. Next, we're going to take our bucket. What's nice about this project is we're still going to have a bucket that's usable. It's not going to be a full 5-gallon bucket anymore. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Sawzall. And if you don't have a Sawzall, you can use a handsaw. It just takes a little bit longer. So, again, 100%, you find all this stuff completely free if you have a handsaw. If you don't have a handsaw, I guess you could take a piece of wire and just run it around it a whole bunch of times. But we're going to cut it right through here. And we're going to cut this all the way off. All right, guys, this next part's going to be loud. And it's going to take me a couple seconds. So I'm going to kill the sound. And I'll probably speed this up. Set your saw right here. As you can see, the slip. It's the perfect cutting angle. Just like that. I've got a bucket I can still use. It's a little shorter now, but no big deal. But we'll set this to the side because we don't need it right now anymore. Now then, what we have here is our main lip. That was the top of the bucket. Not 100% straight, but that's okay. And then, of course, we have our lid. We will be using the scissors one more time. Let me get this set up with the screen, and I'll show you what we do next. All right. So next, we run our screen over the top, as so. You want to make sure that it's kind of tight. And you can start one of the edges of the lid. That way you can keep it tight. Pull your screen. This usually goes a little easier with 2 people working with you. But if you're by yourself, it's very doable. All right, that lips up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is give myself a little easier working room here. And I'm just going to cut that string. That out of the way. And now, a little extra workroom we'll get. All right, it took some finagling, but I got it in. Now, the scissors, all you have to do is go around and trim the edge. Trims off any of the parts that might poke you in the finger. And it just cleans it up a little. This part you don't have to do, but I recommend it. Now what's nice about this Saruca is it cost me $0 to make. Is it a good one? No, not hardly. I mean, it is definitely not professional. You can definitely get more professional ones. You can make more professional ones. But this one, if you've never gone gem sieving before, this one will work just fine for your first time. See if you like it, and if you don't, well, no harm, no foul. If it works really good and it becomes your favorite, if this tears, you can pop this lid off, you can put in a new screen, you can put it back together. Don't do what I did. Apparently the bucket I was using was a little bit bigger than a 5-gallon bucket, so a little harder to get done, but that's the Saruca. All right, next I'm going to build a sifter. I'm going back down to Florida in a couple weeks, and I do have some sifters, but they're the large bread tray kind, which those are super easy to make. If you guys want a video on those, I can do it, but it's pretty much just cut to form, zip tie it all down, and you're good to go. This one will be a much smaller one. All right, guys, this setup's a little different, a little more complicated. Now, I do have a chop saw. If you don't have a chop saw, this can be done with the regular hand saw. It's just going to take a little longer. All in all total, this came to right around $20 to build. What's cool about it, though, is I'm going to have enough that I could actually make a few sifter boxes. Not with the lumber. I'll have to get another couple pieces of lumber. But these are just simply 2x2s. That's all you need. And what we're going to do is we're going to build a box. So I'm going to make a 2-foot sifter by maybe 1.5 feet wide. We'll see how the wind takes me. But let me show you guys how I do this. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab something to mark with, which I have right here. I'm going to use my blade. I'm going to butt up my measuring stick as so, to make sure I have a good 24 inches, and then I'm just going to mark with a line at my 24-inch mark, just like so. And then once that's marked, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to chop it at that line. Give me 1 second here. All right, let's get this up on the saw. Get it to the line. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'm actually going to use this piece to make sure that the other piece is at the perfect length. It also helps if I plug my saw in. All right, saw is plugged in now. Let's give this a cut. Move it to the line. And there we go. My first piece. Now, I'm going to go ahead and kill the camera, but I'm going to make 4 of these because I'm going to want 2 for the top and 2 for the bottom. So I'll be right back after they're done cutting. All right, you guys, I got my first 4 cut at 2 foot. So they are ready to go. Now, because I'm making a slimmer box, I'm going to cut this one to, I'm thinking I'm going to go 10 inches. So I'm going to need 4 pieces cut to 10 inches. So let me get those cut and I'll be right back to you. All right, easy peasy. All pieces are cut to the same length. Well, not the same length. These are all cut to the same length. These are all cut to the same length. We're done with the saw, so I'm going to put it up and then we will get to building the screen box. All right, the saw is put away. I'm going to start putting these together. They're not together yet, but I like to use 2.5-inch screws. I use a 2.5-inch screw on this because of its size. This gives me enough to go through the top layer and stick very well into the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and make a box right now with this. And then once the boxes are done, I'll show you what they look like, and then we'll move on to the next step. I don't really think you guys care to see me screw into the wood. You might. If you do, I'll make another video where I only screw pieces of wood together for you, but this is kind of the boring part. Everybody knows how to use a screw gun. But yeah, we're gonna go right through there on the other side. All right, guys, for this box, I am going to be using, let's see here, where's it at? Yep, 1/4-inch mesh. I like 1/4-inch mesh. I've used 1/2-inch mesh for what I'm doing here. If you can find a smaller mesh, that works just as good. In fact, what's nice about these, and I'm not going to do it with this box, but what's nice about these is once you get it built, you can actually put a small lip on the inside. If you keep them all the same size, you can stack them. So kind of like my bread tray over there, you could do a 1/2-inch mesh, a 1/4-inch mesh, so on and so forth until you get down to super fine, like our little Saruca here. Now, you probably won't need it that fine, but depending on what you're looking for, you could go that fine. You can also make these any size you want, which is cool. Like, let's say you make them 4x4. They're going to be pretty big, but you go out crystal hunting, set them down. If you have some water, set them into a bucket with like maybe a little battery operated pump, drop your dirt on top, start spraying it down, just letting everything sort through. Your little crystals will be caught at the bottom, your big crystals will be caught at the top. I can do the same thing whenever I'm looking for like shark teeth and Pleistocene age bones. I stack 2 together, I start throwing stuff in. As it sinks down, my little stuff gets caught, medium stuff and large stuff. I'm only going to do the 1/4-inch this time though, because I find that for me, what I find 1/4-inch is big enough. So let me get this set up, let me get that unwound, and I'll show you how we're going to put that in. All right, guys, for this part, I'm going to use some zip ties. You do not have to use zip ties. This is all going to get screwed together, but zip ties make it a little bit easier. So we're going to place our screen across it, trying to get it as square as we possibly can. Now, this was a 2-foot piece of galvanized screen. I did the 2-foot, I bought the 2-foot roll because I knew that my box would be 2 foot wide. So you can get it in much bigger sizes. I think it goes up to like 48 inches, which, you know, 4 foot. In which case I could have made a 4-foot box. But I'm going to use my zip ties to hold this in place to make working easier for myself and to hold it in place. Now, the zip ties I'm not worried about. Once I screw everything together, I can trim them off if I want to, which I probably will. Since it's a project I'm making for a video, I'll try to make it look a little nicer than I would for myself. But zip tie that in, and now the screen is held. And I'll put a couple zip ties on all 4 sides as I go around. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to kill the camera, and I'll show you when it's done. All right, the screen is on. Now I'm going to trim it. Now I don't want a lot of little bitty pokey parts sticking out on this side. So I'm going to take my scissors, and you can use clips for this, but scissors do just fine. Remember, that's your good kitchen scissors. And I'm going to start coming through there and popping it off so that way I have a smooth edge there And that edge there. Now this edge here, yeah, just be careful with that. You're gonna want to fold that back. Next project you do, trim that off. Otherwise you could get yourself hurt. As you can see, I already had to put a band-aid on myself. Not from this though. I hit my finger with the drill while I was putting everything together. It happens. All right, let me get this cut. We'll get it all set up, and then we'll start putting the box together. All right, guys, and this is what the screen will look like. Top and bottom are on. Now I'm going to screw this down. You don't have to use these, but I got them for Christmas, and I said to myself, what the heck, let's use them. I don't have an extra set of hands here, so I'll clamp this down, make sure it's tight, and we'll get this all screwed together, and I'll show you that whenever we're done. I'll probably show you how I'm going to screw it too. I'm planning on doing a screw here, and a screw here, and then across from it, and then 2 on each side, and that will keep it down nice and tight. All right, had more screws than I thought I did. I'm going to put 4 in here. I'm going to go here, 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 and here, and yeah, it will be all but done. The only thing else I can add to it would be a handle on both sides, which I don't have a handle, but you can use old drawer handle, old cabinet handle. All those will work and be relatively inexpensive. All in all, I think on this project, to build this, I spent close to $20, maybe. May have been a little less. Let's see, the wood was on sale, $2.50 a piece, so that was 5. I bought the screws for, like, we'll call it 4, so that's 9. And then I bought this for the screen. I got it for 11. Yeah, right at $20, guys. Minus taxes, of course. So, just like that, the screws go in. Let me get these other screws in. I'll trim these off, and I'll show you the finished product. All right, you guys, there it is. There are the zip ties. I cut them off. That was kind of cool. I said heck it, and I made just a little handle for it. All that is a piece of paracord I had lying around. It's not the greatest handle. I'll probably put an actual handle on the sides. I'll probably flatten this. I thought about coming through and cutting it, but I'll probably just flatten it down with my hammer, because it is smooth, so no worries about getting poked with it. But yeah, there you go. 1 sifter box. And of course, 1 Saruca. Not the world's greatest Saruca, but it'll get you started. Great for kids, great if you don't have one and you don't want to spend the $70, but you want to go out and gem mine. This, great for sifting anything. 1/4 inch screen. Like I said, you can do 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch. You can get smaller. If I screwed in a little lip around this and made boxes the same size, I could stack them up. That's why I like these so much. These are the bread trays. You can get these from people who have bread businesses. Sometimes I'll sell them to you, sometimes they get rid of them. I got these at an auction. I get most of my bread trays at auctions because I love auctions, and a lot of times that's what they put their stuff on when they auction it, and you just get the whole tray. So yeah, a little different than most of my videos, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it informing. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm sure there's other woodworkers out there who could make a lot better looking sifter box than I did. If I wanted to get real fancy, I'd go around it with a router and put, rounded edges. But for what I'm going to be doing with it, it's going to be fine. It's going to go down with me to Florida in February. So you guys will see it used in an upcoming video. Probably March sometime, maybe late February. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. All right, guys, so that's the video for the week. A little different than normal, but luckily it's warming up. Believe it or not, it's almost 75 degrees in February. Look at this, I'm wearing shorts. We had so much snow, didn't we, Hamilton? Yeah, we did. You loved it, but it's all gone now. But anywho, guys, Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope I can get a like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, I love you too. And I will see you guys the next time we're out hunting rocks or building something in the garage. Have a good one, everybody. Bye. Say bye, Hamilton. He says bye. See you guys.